Thanks for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about the process. You both wrote and directed together. I can't do two things with my siblings together. What is it like writing something and then having the other person look at it and go, nope, we're doing this, and then directing, go, I'm putting my thing. How does that work?
We get that question.
We certainly get that question all the time, but this is the only way we've ever worked. So I think we would ask back, well, how do you do that with one person? How do you know that your idea is any good if you don't have to, run it past somebody else and check it back and forth? So I mean, that's something that I think, a lot of people are like, oh, how do you do that? It must be harder with two of you. But to us, that's the way that we work. We find it easier that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just obviously about trust and vulnerability and like clearing away all of the guards that we all put up. And it's a unique relationship, but it's because Bobby and I have been best friends for, well over a decade, and so it allows us to be open with one another in that way.
So who usually overrid the other? Who won the most arguments?
Who won the most? I don't know. We'll check the tally and we'll let you know.
Yeah, it all evens out. By the end, it all winds up evening out, and that's kind of part of the weird balance of it. Is that like there's a shockingly few moments of like one person feeling like the other person's doing too much. I think we just like have found we keep all of our arguments, most of them anyway, confined to the writing room, and when we're prepping for a day or something, we try to hash out any differences we might have before we get to set, so that there's not a lot of
public airing of laundry or anything.
Now, often you hear about writers saying, I wrote this character with so-and-so in mind.
Yeah.
Was there anyone that you had in mind that you got, or was it all kind of, let's get it written and then go from there? What kind of a process was it?
We don't necessarily always write with specific actors in mind. We'll discuss sort of like archetypical actors just so that we can get onto the same page early on in the development process. But I think the closest thing to that might be that we were writing the script in 2015 right after we had seen It Follows, and we knew that Micah Monroe would be perfect for this, but at the time we were essentially told to go kick rocks, that like we would never be able to get her because she was so hot from that film. But then 2 years later, or 3 years later, we were able to get the script in front of her, and it came back around. So that was one where like we did very early on have that actress in mind, and then she ended up in the film.
Magically worked out.
We were very lucky in that way.
The film wound up rising to the profile of her talent, so she was finally able to be in it.
Final question. I won't name the actor because I don't want to throw any actor that's on the red carpet under the bus. But he said that he enjoyed having young directors and be able to kind of add input and kind of share his experience without naming the actor. Tell us a little bit like what it was like working with established actors, kind of getting their input and kind of learning from.
I mean,
you guys are new.
Yeah, of course. No,
we don't sit here and pretend that we're masters of this craft yet. We try to get better every movie. Like anybody at any job, really. And so we were just totally open to any suggestions that they had. And it was great because I think we're already used to doing that with each other. So to have Jeff, Kira, Bill, Micah, come to us with suggestions for things. We're not so cagey about our own, creative ideas that we push them away or not let them have that input. So
yeah, I mean, I think it was like the greatest joy of this process was building these characters with the actors in a very substantial way. They brought so much to this. So yeah, I mean, we loved that. We learned so much.
Thank you. Looking forward to screening it.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thanks so much.
This is Jeffrey Donovan.
What is this?
It's called a Mevo. What it does is it takes. So now you're extremely close.
Yeah, I know.
But it takes 9 different shots. So like if there's a panel, it's basically a recording studio. So I can do panoramic shots. It does all kinds of.
How did you find
They've been out for about a year now. I've been bringing it to South by Southwest. People always kind of question what it is, but it allows me to kind of basically have an editing studio in the iPhone. So, thanks for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about what drew you to the film.
Well, it starts on the page. It has to, and when I read the script, I thought the material was unique. I hadn't really read a script like this in a while, where it mixed genres, It mixed thriller, a little bit of scariness, but also kind of psychological exploration of young villains and old villains, kind of old school and new school. I thought that was really fascinating.
And how much input as an actor, I mean, you've been around for a while, how much input as an actor do you have for the characters? I mean, you're working with directors that also wrote it, so it's kind of personal to them. How much input as an actor do you get for something like that, or do you trust the directors and the writers to kind of flesh it out for you?
It all depends. You know, when I was doing something like Sicario, Denny Donovan and Taylor Sheridan, kind of trust them. They kind of have a great track record. With younger filmmakers, you know, you try to be as collaborative as possible, and hopefully you'll bring some insight that they hadn't maybe seen before. So it's a give and take, and they're very collaborative. So it was a really good experience.
And now that this is premiering, what's up next for you?
So I just wrapped a couple of movies, but my latest was this movie I did with Liam Neeson called Honest Thief, which will come out probably in the fall.
And fans are dying to know, you've said before that you never thought you'd go back to visiting Michael Weston, but now we live in a day and age where everyone's returning to TV. It's almost like taboo not to be returning to a show. Just have to ask, yes or no, ever see a return?
I wouldn't rule it out. You know, I talked to Matt Nix a couple of times about it. I think there's an interesting angle if we figure out what his skill set might be now. 10 years, let's say 10 years later. Where is he?
Good luck. I'm looking forward to screening it.
Thank you.